pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business is the financials. You want to do those, Heidi, or is that?
Well, no, actually, this is the one, you have the sheet
Yeah.
on that, or? can you
Yeah, I
use-
just said, you guys ready for this? And you said, oh yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Okay, these were financials that I approved on September 4th. There's revenue certification for Board of Mental Health Fund for additional grant funding and the hotel motel excise tax fund for additional anticipated revenues. And supplemental appropriation transfers included supplemental appropriations for Board of Mental Health Fund to appropriate additional grant fund monies, and the jail construction fund to appropriate for the rear perimeter sidewalk at the safety center. So I approve those. There's no action required on your part. I'm just reporting to you what I approve.
All right. So then on number 2, we've got the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of August 26, 2014.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Smeedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Motion approved. Number 3 is going to be the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of August 28th.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Smeedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spitaleri?
Aye, motion approved. Okay, number 4 is going to be the Office of Economic Development. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good, good.
For those who are not familiar with me, I'm Donna Weber, and I'm the Secretary of Community Development.
Aye.
For item 4, we have the letter of commitment for $75,000 to CNC Precision. It's preliminary, it's a non-binding letter. It gives us, the Community Development Office, a chance to go ahead and start the process with regard to the other documents.
And I think that we had already moved on the preliminaries about 2 meetings ago on this, I believe, right? Okay. All right, any questions there?
Yeah, this number 4, the 75,000 is for the architect.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is the architect, and now, we
Yes.
had, in the RLF meeting, we had looked at 4% interest at 3 years, so this is incorrect, it's on here. This is definitely not what we had voted on. Because we felt that the interest, generally you pay your architect up front.
So you're saying higher interest at a first?
Higher interest at a shorter,
term.
at 3 years. That's what we voted for.
The letter that they gave me says 3.25%.
No, that's not what happened. Is that what happened? I mean, get them on the phone, get Anita on the phone.
Do you recall the original documents, Dave?
I was just at the meeting.
No, she was at the, she was part of the group
I was
that
part of the
votes on
RLF
loans.
meeting, and I'm telling you that
Yeah.
the 75,000 was for the architect, it was set at 4% at 3 years, and that's what we all agreed to. Annie Meinhold was there, and Dave Dietrich, Anita.
I'll tell you what,
I think maybe hold it back until we
Yeah.
find out for certain. Maybe give her a call. Well, David's on his way.
why don't we do this, and let's go ahead and discuss number 5 then.
Yeah, 5 is okay.
5 and 6 are related together.
If you want to
Okay,
just do
5
that while
is-
we get somebody on the phone, maybe to confirm that.
Okay, 5 is the loan review report. It's just documentation for housekeeping paperwork.
Someone else will start.
And that goes directly
Kelly
to the
is
state.
on vacation.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, yeah, and he's in Columbus, so this might just have to wait till Thursday.
Yeah.
If we can
But
wait.
I know this was not, I mean, we had a big discussion about that.
So is that going to put us in a bind for them, or we can,
Couldn't tell you.
well, why don't we do this? We'll make a motion to table the number 4 till Thursday,
Yeah.
and then we'll just get some confirmation as far as the percentages by then. So if I could have a motion to table this till Thursday?
I'll move to Table item 4 until Thursday.
Second.
Commissioner Smeedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved to table the agenda item number 4 till
See.
Thursday. So on number 5, is there any questions regarding number 5 with the Parkman Township?
There's no problem with it, it's just that, you know, there isn't a lot of equity, and most of his equity is in what he believed to be, his company was worth, but there's like maybe 600,000 tops. So he's going for a loan, he's putting in only about 120,000 of his own cash, and he's going out for almost 2 million. You know, we had a big discussion about this, but his revenue stream, his business, he is bringing the cash in to pay for it. But you need to understand that, you know, his stake in it, there isn't a lot of asset there. at
So
this
where are we
point.
subrogating, second or third on this?
Third.
Third. Okay.
And what they're going after is life insurance. Well, you know, if the guy's got to die to get that. You know, life insurance, they're going for, you know, and then I looked at, well, what is this 3.5 million? Is, well, that's what he perceives as the value of the business once it's all done. Right now, he can't buy the land unless he gets the loan.
Okay.
And you know where he's buying it? It's out there in Parkman. You know where that antique mall, you know where it is.
Oh,
That
okay, yeah,
antique
yeah.
mall, Hofstadter's stuff.
So
Did he
he's-
say how many jobs he's gonna bring?
Yeah, what he's doing is bringing the business from Garrettsville. And it's coming from Portage, so he's bringing in like, I believe it was like 39 jobs. But these are, and then he plans to put in 17 more once he gets rolling. And like most businesses, you know, you speculate, but I just want you to know that his own cash, like the 75,000, he's putting probably 25 of his own toward that, and then the other 100 is toward the other. He's got 3 loans laddered, you know, something from this Consumers Bank, which nobody knew who that was, but that was in Warren somewhere, and they're giving him 777,000, and then there's another one, and then us, which we're giving 410.
So as far
So
as
it's like
the-
$2 million, he's putting in 100,000 for $2 million. It's like you go to buy your house, and I don't know if any of you have ever bought anything, but, you know, they always want 25%.
So as far as the subrogation is we're third in line, what's the first is obviously going to be their primary bank,
Yeah,
and then the second is going to be,
The first one, I believe, is Consumers National Bank.
Consumers, which,
My memory is 728,000.
777.
The second one, I believe, is the state of Ohio. I think theirs is 500,000.
Yes.
That's my memory.
is
And
that
ours
going to be
is
like
14.
a medvac
I
program or?
don't know, because they sent the LDD documents to me, and it didn't tell me what they had for a loan.
Okay.
And he had everything lined up as what kind of value of his assets. And his actual business, he's looking at the machinery is maybe worth 500,000-600,000, but the actual, he's saying that this is what it would be worth, like a 3 point. I thought that was a lot of securities, but
I think it's a third place.
it's like Bakelite.
It's a third position, and then there's a corporate guarantee and a personal guarantee.
Yeah, so
Well, they're gonna
here's
go
what-
after everything he has, but what he has, all these amounts.
So what we're showing here is a 784 with consumers, and it is medvac, that's second at 500, and then revolving loan fund at 135, that's probably Mahoney Valley.
Yeah.
And then, so I guess there's a certain level of comfortness from what I'm sensing.
Well,
So-
it was, we were uncomfortable because there was not a lot of asset against it that we could go after, you know, and they're going after the guy's life insurance, you know, but then on the other hand, you know, a lot of businesses take a chance, you know, this is what businesses do, but he has the income that comes in from his business that seems like he'll be able to make these payments, but,
So let me ask you, if I can,
I'd like
I
you
would like
to review it a little bit.
Right, I would like to make a motion to
Yeah.
table this,
Table 4
and then we
5.
can just possibly have a stand-in where we could actually have
It bothered
possibly
me enough
the person
to,
even present,
Yeah.
and then we'll, that way we have a better comfort level, because
Mm-hmm.
if there's a lot of unsureness, there's, you know, then I don't feel that it's right for us to move forward if we got
I
some.
think it would be
open
good to talk with Andy Meinhold, you know, he's the
Okay.
banker on the board, and he understands very thorough, I mean, the question was, well, if this was your money, would you lend it? And then there was this, you know, big eyes around the table.
So,
Yeah,
then let's go ahead to, with number, we already
Shouldn't
moved
have
for
said that,
number
I'm sorry, Father.
4.
Right.
So then 5 and 6, let's just go ahead and table that until, at least till Thursdays. We could try to get discussion, possibly have to reschedule maybe later, but at least
Well,
till Thursday.
I'm gonna tell you this too, because I gotta be
So if
pretty,
we could get a motion on
to
that.
be- before you go on, to be perfectly honest with the board, one of the reasons they were pushing this was because there's $1 million in the RLF fund that they don't wanna lose. So they're trying to push this, so half of it is being used, so it won't be taken away. That was the push.
Can,
And I, you know, when I first said it, you know, I've been thinking about it all weekend and it has really bothered me. That's why I'm bringing it up.
can we get information, how long is Anita out of town? She'll what?
There was a conference in Columbus, she couldn't get out.
She'll be in tomorrow, and we have a meeting on Thursday.
Right.
Does that get, should that afford us enough time to get a
Well,
little more clarity
yeah.
on these issues?
But
I mean, if we're
But you have to
talking-
understand, the reason, our loans, we give loans to places where banks won't. And right now, the banks will want to take most of that loan if that's a good company. They're gonna wanna take it all. Because why would they give it to us?
Well, I think
when
that-
they can get the interest.
I don't agree necessarily with that. I think that the banks are always looking to share liability when they could be first in line. If they could be
Well, if they're
first
first in
liners,
line, yeah, but we're
two other
third.
places to fund dollars, their injection of cash is protected 2 and 3 times, but ultimately, their ability to recoup what their play is into the deal is less, but I understand if there's some comfort, then let's try to get some answers and
Yeah.
and then, you know, move forward on Thursday for a better,
Yeah.
you know, information to make a better decision on this.
I'll move to table item 5 and 6.
All right, I'll second that.
Your second?
Commissioner Smeedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Good thing about that.
All right, so
That's fine.
number 5 and
Thank
6
you for your-
is tabled. I'm sorry for the,
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Financials was
Yeah.
Yeah,
slightly
it's
amended.
and to add to it.
Yeah, these will be amended, right, by,
Yeah, we're gonna have to due to that, we're gonna line
Do you
items.
wanna do that?
She's worried about losing.
Yeah, the contract on here for the 75,000 for CNC precision machine. So, I'm just gonna put a line here. And we'll make a note that if we approve the financials, it will not include that one item.
okay.
So, the other financials, we have a revenue certification for the intensive supervision probation fund for additional grant funding, supplemental appropriations for the intensive supervision probation fund for that additional grant funding, the revolving loan fund, which is the 500,000, but, I mean, I think that's okay, you can appropriate, it doesn't mean they're spending it, they're just putting it in that line. The Sheriff's Office Fair Rotary for 2014 fair payroll, DES Emergency Management Fund for a vehicle purchase, and the Board of DD Construction Fund to increase appropriations per their board resolution 14-588. With a cash transfer out of the general fund for a portion of 2014 funding for the local revolving loan fund. Contract, and then the contract that we discussed for CNC Precision Machine was on there. The travel request for the engineer's office and the juvenile court, payment to EnviroCom for payment number 2 of the Thompson Sewer Project for Community and Economic Development in the amount of $18,949.74. And a payment to Maximus Incorporated for the 2013 Central Services Cost Allocation Plan in the amount of $11,000.
I'll make those motions.
second?
Commissioner Smeedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
All right, motion stands approved. Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
Okay, then you've got the Department on Aging. Hi, Jessica, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
We were fortunate to have two lovely young ladies with us this summer from college. And they are back in school, but we would like to retain them for the season. Probably not until the holidays, so not now, not a few hours a week, but mostly Christmas and spring break.
both 8 and 9, correct?
Yes.
Okay, if we could do a read then on those two.
The Department on Aging is requesting the board reclassify Mackenzie King from full-time summer help number 0101 to temporary seasonal help number 0101 at a rate of $8.50 per hour to be effective October 1st, 2014 through April 30th, 2015 for up to 13 weeks, a maximum of 520 hours. The Department on Aging is requesting the board reclassify Elizabeth Otola from full-time summer help number 0101 to temporary seasonal help number 0101 at a rate of $8.50 per hour to be effective October 1st, 2014 through April 30th, 2015 for up to 13 weeks, a maximum of 520 hours.
I'll make those motions.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye, both stand approved. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Okay, then we've got the Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Good morning.
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. How's everybody?
Good,
Hey.
good.
I heard the discussions on the fall. So winter comes after fall, so
It does?
it does. But it's
Again?
coming in here. I was seeing all the
It's snowing up
trees
in,
turning a bit.
there's snowing up in Montana.
Are you ready for me?
We're
Discuss
ready.
number
Yep,
10?
for sure.
Back on August 26th, we asked the commissioners to approve awarding the contract to Building Technicians Corporation for our roofing project. We awarded it then, and we're here today to ask that you approve and execute the contract.
Okay, any questions on
So, entertain any questions or anything?
Okay. So we'll look through this and we could go ahead and read number 10.
The Board of Developmental Disabilities requests the board approve and execute the contract agreement between the Geauga County Board of Commissioners, the Geauga County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and Building Technicians Corporation for the Metzenbaum 2014 Adult Workshop and Administration Building Roof Replacement Project in the amount of $624,100.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie? Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye, motion stands approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Good morning.
Hey, Nick.
Okay, how you doing?
Good.
Okay. So Nick, if you wanna talk to us about Mumford?
Mumford Road, this is just the closeout procedures, final change order for the resurfacing of Mumford Road from sections E through H, decrease $9,674.70. That's just incidental, you know, to meet the existing conditions. Use a little bit extra asphalt here, a little less here, so.
Okay, if we could read,
I'll make that motion.
Bill, if we could do a read real quick on
Oh,
that.
sorry.
Number 11.
The County Engineer's Office is requesting the board approve and execute change order number 1 and final decreasing the contract with Cargo Paving Company for the asphalt resurfacing of Mumford Road CH 24 sections E through H in Troy Township in the amount of $9,674.70.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Abstain.
Commissioner Rea?
Works.
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
All right, motion stands approved. You're all set, Nick.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
You too now. Okay, so number 11 is approved. And then we've got Department of Jobs and Family Services. So Taylor, how are you?
Just fine. Good morning.
Hi, Tim.
Morning.
Okay. So what do we have for this morning, Tim?
The revised code gives the Board of County Commissioners the ability to authorize the Director of Job and Family Services to pursue an inter-county transfer of allocations. So we receive about 50 different funding streams. Those are, of course, allocated statewide in all the counties. And in a certain circumstance where one county maybe has a shortage of funds, another county has funds that they may not use, all of those funds will be returned to the state at the end of the fiscal year. But this gives the commissioners the ability to grant the Director of Job and Family Services some authority to go to other counties and actually try to pursue those funds. We have a very small allocation we receive for our food stamp employment and training program. Our allocation is about $7,900 we received from the state. We anticipate we're going to need approximately an additional $25,000 to cover those costs. If we aren't successful in getting that additional allocation, those costs will roll to our food stamp allocation. we're always tight on that allocation. So this is simply you giving me the authority to pursue approximately $25,000 inter-county transfer from another county that has a balance that they will not need, and that they would then transfer that, and that would be added to our allocations. We've had good success with our employment training. It's required for food stamp recipients that they participate in employment, and that we help them search for training, and we've had good success with that program. Actually, we're one of the few counties that's actually spending this allocation. It's a small allocation, but we're one of the few counties that's spending this allocation and actually in need of some additional funds. A lot of counties are going to return a lot of unspent money. But we've seen about a third of our folks that we identified as needing the employment and training services or required to get the employment and training services. We're down about a third since October. So that's pretty good. Work on that area. So this is just to give me authority to pursue about $25,000 of food stamp employment training funds from some other county yet to be funded.
Have you done this before? Have we done?
This is the first time, actually.
First, okay.
I've never really perceived that we would need to do that, but in this case, it's a small amount of money. The concept is that some counties would perhaps trade funds, that we would say, well, we've got this, we need that, another county needs fine. In this case, I think counties are returning this money. My understanding is statewide is going to be significantly underspent, so I don't think we really would need to offer the trade. But again, we will spend our allocation, and if we aren't successful, it'll roll to our food stamp allocation. But again, we always run kind of tight in that.
Now, does the state give you a list of who's gonna be returning money?
It actually goes to the state, to the county Bureau of Finance, and they sort of post it and send out a bulletin to the 88 counties and see which counties might be interested. But what I would probably do is just go to neighboring counties where I know those directors and ask if they have, it's not a lot of money to larger counties. So I would go to our neighboring county directors and say, are you going to spend your food stamp and employment allocation? Do you have $25,000 you don't anticipate using? They, of course, have to have their commissioner's permission to do the same thing. And if that's the case, then it would be worked through the state and added to our allocation.
So it's strictly, I want to say strictly, so it's a county-to-county thing. If you have a good relationship with whatever, Summit, Portage, whoever,
Right.
and then they can send that money or allocate that money to us without having to go back through the state where
It doesn't have, it's not allocated by the state. The state has to approve the allocation, to reroute the money through their system. It's sort of similar to, on a general fund basis, if the commissioners were, let's say, taking funds from the auditor's office and then working with them to put them in the treasurer's office because the treasurer had a need. It's kind of similar to that, but it's the state of Ohio with the 88 counties and trying to look at those allocations. And, if they're not spent, they do go back to the state and how the state allocates them the next year based on formulas or whatever it may be. But I never thought we would use this, actually, but again, with that small allocation and the fact we've been pretty aggressive with it, and knowing that there's a concern by our state association that, across the board, the county's going to send a lot of money back to the state, which then the state says, well, why aren't you spending this money, why aren't you using it? And we're we can use those funds. It just would help us on our food stamp allocation, which we always do on item.
Now, do you have a number of how many people in Geauga you have enrolled in that program?
In October, yes, I actually got some information on that, if you'd like. I didn't know how much you might be interested. This food stamp employment and training requirements were stopped, I think, back in 2009. The state of Ohio, I think, actually it might have been nationwide. Actually, there was a waiver on these requirements for the food stamp program. And so they were restarted effective in October 1, 2013. If you look at the chart on the left, you can see that on the second page, you can see that the total number of food stamp applicants who were required for this food stamp employment training were 328 we identified. Now, there's a constant flow of people coming into the food stamp program and leaving, but so in October of last year, we had 328 who were required to participate. So we're down now as of July, to 202. So we've seen about a 33% reduction in the number of folks who are required. If you look over on the fourth column where it says FAEPs employed, you can see month by month the number of those folks who went into employment. And I wouldn't say that those were all strictly because of our efforts, but we did meet with all of those. We had to put together a plan and do it and encourage them to do the work. So we've been aggressively trying to work the program as we're supposed to.
So once they fall into the employed status, they no longer receive them?
Depends on what their employment is. They can still be employed and receive some amount of food stamps. It depends upon what their wages are. So we do have actually probably I would say the majority of the folks who receive food assistance have some kind of income from employment. But some of these folks also have exited the food stamp program altogether.
I see. So is that like a formula then that's based on how many children they have, what their expenses are?
There are exemptions to whether or not you're required to participate in this employment training program. So you start with the fact that everyone has to participate, but you're exempted if you're over the age of 60, if you have a child in the household that's under the age of 6, if you're disabled, receiving Social Security. I mean, there's a number of things that exempt you from having to have those employment training requirements. And if you fail to meet those employment training requirements, you can actually be sanctioned then and also lose your food stamp benefits.
Okay.
So there's a fair amount involved with it. We have a contract with Guidestone, who is in-house, and we work with them. And that's one of the ways that we kind of keep track of our expenditures, and they can work with them, with those clients in our agency. They can also work with them out in the community as well, and they do the same service for Lake County. So there's a little bit of synergy there between the two counties.
So as far as our cost, do we have somebody that we employ that's assigned specifically to the unemployment?
We've got the same person who does our work activity requirements for our OWF population, our cash assistance population, which is a really very small population in our county. I think we're 6 folks who are receiving cash. But it's food stamps, Department of Agriculture, cash assistance, Health and Human Services. So the regulations are very different, but the outcome and what you're trying to achieve is the same for both. So that person does both the cash assistance work activity, the food stamp work activity, and they're also our fraud investigator as well.
Okay.
So, it was a rocky start because the way the waiver ended on October 1st at 12:01 in the morning, we had 400 people we were supposed to see within a 2-week period, which of course no one in the state could meet that kind of an obligation, but you had to try to get through those folks, get them in and get their requirements met, get them screened, get the plan in place and all that, because if you didn't, under the rules, they could be sanctioned. But statewide, well, nationwide, this program just started back up July 1, so we had a rather large population to deal with all at once. So it was a little frantic at first, but I think we've ironed most of the bugs out, and it's going pretty well.
Okay, then if we can, let's go ahead and read number 12.
The Department of Job and Family Services is requesting the board approve and execute resolution number 14-137, assigning authority to Tim Taylor, Executive Director of Geauga County Job and Family Services, to act as the Geauga County Board of Commissioners. County Commissioners designate for approving inter-county adjustments of allocated funds.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion stands approved. Thank you.
Thank you, and again, that one allocation is the only thing that I would be pursuing if by some really strange occurrence, there was something else I can come back to you all and let you know that.
Okay.
We did it.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Brett. Good morning.
Morning. Huh? Oh, well, all right. This kind of is a result of, we were contacted by Robbie Halford Board of Elections. Apparently they were having problems with some of their existing polling locations serving this city of Chardon. And they said they would like to use Building 8. And really, by law, they can pretty much require us to provide that space.
Instead of these other locations, instead of A and B.
Right.
So it would be over here.
It would be at Building 8.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
and I mean, and we have the space, and there was no conflict, you know, we looked at the schedule, there was no conflict. I think we just have to be mindful of the traffic, and that might be an issue as far as having a session on election day if you have a lot of people coming out
That would be a good
It's
idea,
just-
yeah. Preempt that.
Like, it's just,
Just Ralph?
So, I believe that, didn't we cancel the session already for that date?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
All
can
right.
do that.
So then we'll go ahead and do a read on number 13 then.
the maintenance department is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the contract for election day polling location with Geauga County Board of Elections, allowing the use of 470 Center Street, building number 8, as a polling location for precinct Chardon City A and B on Tuesday, November 4th, 2014.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved. Thank you.
Aye.
Good job, Glenn. Mike, how are you?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Transit director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if you look at number 14, Transit Department is requesting the board to grant permission to advertise for the position that driver supervisor in transit. I tried to talk that guy into staying,
He was too good, he got promoted.
He got
so. I was
promoted.
just kidding.
Moved on.
So, yeah, that's basically until the position is filled, so.
Okay, so if we could read number 14.
The transit department is requesting the board to grant permission to advertise for the position of transit driver supervisor number 2207. This position will remain posted until
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved. And for 15,
Okay, 15, we're requesting that the board approve and execute a resolution authorizing us to file our proposal for next year's plan for operating capital funds of the state and administered, federal funds administered by the state.
okay, so if we can go ahead and do a read on 15.
The transit department is requesting the board approve and execute resolution number 14-138, authorizing the filing of a proposal with the Ohio Department of Transportation for grants through the U.S. DOT Federal Transit Administration, FTA, as authorized under federal transit laws, as codified 49 U.S.C. Section 5311, financial assistance for other than urbanized areas and funds available from the Ohio Public Transportation Grant Program, and executing a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation upon grant proposal approval.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good deal.
Two.
Okay, then we've got Department of Water Resources. Hi, Jerry.
Good morning.
Jerry.
Okay. So Canyon Lakes.
This is another portion of Canyon Lakes. It's currently called Overlook Landing, but they're going to be changing that name because there's already an Overlook Drive in Lake Lucerne and Bainbridge, so to avoid confusion. But this is just for the approval of the improvement plans for the sanitary sewer construction for this development. This is actually a Pain and Pain is going to be doing the development. It's 6 lots, just kind of like a little elbow off of the existing Lookout Drive. So their water service for those 6 lots is actually going to come off the existing water line. But to get street services for the sanitary, they needed to run a little, it's about 300 feet of sewer line.
Okay. So if we could read number 16.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and accept the Overlook Landing site improvement plans for sanitary sewer construction in the Canyon Lakes development in Bainbridge Township. As part of the development, the sewer line will be installed by the developer under inspection of Water Resources personnel. And once completed, ownership, operation, and maintenance will be turned over to the county, and appropriate easements will be granted.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sneedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion stands approved. Thank you, Jerry. Great, you too now. Number 17, Dave.
I know, someone from the prosecutor's office wanted to.
Morning, how are you?
Morning. Good.
Good to see you.
We had one of the departments under the Commissioner's hiring authority, employee filed a workers' compensation claim. My office had been handling it, and now we're in a stage of the proceedings where we probably should get somebody who specializes in workers' compensation law to further litigate the matter. So in order, since I'm your statutory representative, but it's under your hiring authority, we have to make an application to the court to appoint this workers' comp lawyer. I don't know who he is, but I know that he's done this type of work before, I think for that particular agency. So, and in fact, he's already done a little bit of consulting with us to get us to the point where we could appeal what's going on with the workers' comp claim. So that's all it is. Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We could read number 17.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and execute an application of the prosecuting attorney and board of commissioners for appointment of counsel pursuant to ORC 305.14.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sneedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion approved. Okay,
This is just to use the green line.
okay, so if you want to read number 18 then.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and execute an agreement between the Geauga County Board of Commissioners and Chardon Tomorrow to allow Chardon Tomorrow to use the county parking lot located at 470 Center Street, Chardon, to allow parking for the volunteer workers and vendors during the Chardon Brew Fest event on September 13, 2014, from 9 o'clock a.m. through 7 o'clock p.m.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sneedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion stands approved. So 18 is good. Okay, number 19.
Katie needs a little bit of unpaid time. She's taking some vacation time with a new child and all that, and there was a family planned vacation coming up, so she just needs a couple days of unpaid leave to be able to do that.
Okay. So if we could read number 19.
Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve an unpaid personal leave of absence for Mary C. Shop for 16 hours for the period September 18, 2014 through September 19, 2014 per section 6.12 of the Geauga County Personnel Policy and Procedure Manual. This will also extend her probationary period by 2 days.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sneedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, motion approved. And number 20.
This is, the board took action back, I think it was in January, because there was a stated intent that they wanted the county engineer to be able to sit on the board. And we received a letter from NOACA asking that you take action to amend that action to reflect what's here, which basically modifies what's currently in place, that there are 3 positions that are each held by a county commissioner, and have it changed to read that that 3rd position could be a county commissioner or the county engineer.
Okay.
Who's the 3rd position right now? Me?
Well,
The
It's a
I,
commissioner.
and
Yeah.
3 ayes. Right.
Well, we done internally, we specified internally that you would identify who's I, and I, based
Okay.
on your term date.
Right.
But that's really, NOACA doesn't really care about that part of it.
that's your
All they need
business
to know
when you,
is
when you
that you intend to possibly have a 3rd spot be the engineer.
Okay.
make sure that he's on.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we could do a read of number 20.
Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve a request from the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency, NOACA, to amend the Code of Regulations, Article 4, Section 4.2, from County Commissioner, County Commissioner, County Commissioner, change to read County Commissioner, County Commissioner, County Commissioner, in parentheses, County Engineer.
I make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved. Number 21, try to just kind of breeze through this. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve the following 2014 budget hearing schedule on the 9th, Treasurer, Recorder, County Home, OSU, Building, Transit, Airport, the 11th, Engineer, Prosecutor, Clerk of Courts, Board of Elections, and the Veterans. 16th is going to be Auditor, Public Defender, JFS, Maintenance, and Dog Warden. The 16th of October is Sheriff, Mental Health, Board of Developmental Disabilities, DES. The 21st, Community Court, Soil and Water Planning, Community Development, Commissioner Records, Juvenile Court to the Coroner. And the 23rd is Aging, Common Pleas, Court Technology, Water Resources, Law Library. These are all open to the public. It's just our budget hearings. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved. Then we've got here,
Number issue.
this would actually probably be number 22.
Correct.
The Commissioner's Office is
Yeah.
requesting the Board rescind the motion from August 28, 2014 that read, about approve the addition of a regular meeting on Thursday, September 18, 2014 at 10 a.m., but due to a lack of a quorum. So,
I'll
we
make
could
that
get a
motion.
motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Okay, motion approved. And on 22 then, the Commissioner's Office is requesting Board cancel session on Tuesday, October 14th of 2014.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion stands approved. And then for number 23, we're going to have the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board.
It's 24 now.
Oh, yep, 24.
Sorry.
Sorry about
All right.
that. Alrighty, so 24 is going to be the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board appoint Craig Swenson to the position of interim acting executive director of Jobs and Family Services to be effective October 4th, 2014 at a rate of $32.39 per hour.
My only question is, the rate of pay, is that in our,
Yeah, I mean, well, that number's not in our salary schedule.
what is?
Well, the beginning, this is grade 22, step 1 is 3581. But, you know, in some cases, although generally not for director, there's a probationary rate that applies on a regular pay schedule,
So it'd
which
be a
is
little-
90% of the 3581. And that would be close to the number that's requested here, 3223. So, I mean,
Oh, it's
it wouldn't
just
hurt to leave
cents.
it what.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if it was in the step, make sure
I
that
guess
it's in the
just with
step.
that, I'd like to, you know, if I
Craig?
could have just a quick introduction. You know, Craig comes on board, absolutely. He's currently with the Geauga County Prosecutor's Office as a attorney with the Prosecutor's Office. Comes with a vast amount of background and experience handling a lot of the legal issues within the organization itself. And I believe that talked to Prosecutor Flays that we're going to be able to institute a kind of an immediate action plan to be able to get some experience with Director Taylor also, to just be able to be brought up to speed so that there's not a major issue of lack of service there, and just some of the questions and answers could get put together. But I think that this is going to be a good thing, and I think that it's you know, saddened to see Mr. Taylor retiring, but obviously everybody's got to retire sometimes. So we wish everybody, you know, best of luck both on Mr. Taylor's part and also with the interim director coming in.
Smile.
Camera, hold on here. Just got a funny
If
thing.
you're
on
like
the
me, it
camera.
won't make a difference,
Craig, would you tell us how much, what you do for JFS, what you have been doing?
Absolutely.
I think it's good for people to know that.
I don't know, should I speak to you, speak to the
Speak
people?
to the camera.
Okay. Well, I've been a prosecutor for almost 10 years total between Lake County and Geauga County. I've done really maximized what I can do in the prosecutor's office and really enjoyed that role and got to see how, you know, the county, things work at the county level. In the last 6 years, I've proudly been able to represent Geauga County Job and Family Services, and it's been a pleasure. And again, I am too also sad to see Tim go, because he's done a great job and he's got really big shoes to fill. And but I would like to do my best and try to make this a seamless transition until, you know, the board finds who's suitable to replace the long term. So I very much thank you for this potential opportunity, and I'm going to work tirelessly on behalf of the constituents of this county to make sure that the organization is run as well as it can be.
I know there was some concern about your cases, and I think Jim Flays, I think he is very well to take care of him. He had mentioned that you want to address that issue.
Sure, just so the board's aware, obviously with Tim leaving, that's gonna be a big gap there to fill. And I know, I appreciate that the board is bringing Craig on in this temporary position. He'll go on a leave of absence effective October 4th, and then I'll have some civil staff from my office try to cover his cases for him while the board interviews candidates for a permanent hire. And between now and October 4th, Craig has a couple permanent custody trials this week, starting soon on behalf of JFS, but between now and October 4th, I'm gonna, every free moment Craig has, I'm gonna send him down there to work with Tim so that he can try to learn as much as he can before Tim leaves, and then he'll take leave of absence from the 4th, and then until you fill the position, and we'll just manage it on our end. So I do appreciate the board giving him this opportunity, and hopefully we can all work together as a team and make it a seamless transition.
Thank you.
Yeah, and obviously from my standpoint, I'm gonna work as hard. I mean, right now I'm a county prosecutor. I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure everything I can get done there for this opportunity is done. And so it's gonna be a lot of hard work, but it's what we do. So.
Okay. So with that, if I could have a motion?
Oh, I make that motion?
I'll second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion stands approved. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your opportunity.
Okay. Then that takes us to number 24. The
25.
25. I'll get this right.
Don't worry, we'll keep you on track.
Yeah, don't get mad when we correct it.
You don't.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for the position of Executive Director of Jobs and Family Services, with applications being accepted for a period of 3 weeks until 4:30 p.m. on October 6, 2014.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion stands approved. And now we need to go into executive session to consider.
Here he comes.
He's walking in the door.
All right.
Okay.
Do we want
Because
Because this is the last time I'll
Yeah.
read all this and then,
Yeah.
because I don't think there's gonna be action.
Okay, so prior to our motion for executive session, we'll go through the acknowledgements here. The weekly report filed by the dog warden for all the dogs seized, impounded, redeemed, or destroyed for the week ending the 27th, as required by the Ohio Revised Code 955.12. And then B, the monthly financial report from the County Building Department for the month of August 2014. And then for our meetings here, we've got the 9/9 Commissioners will hold budget hearings today, actually beginning at 1 p.m. Tomorrow is the Perry Nuclear Power Plant exercise. The 11th, the Commissioners will hold regular session. The 11th, the Commissioners will hold budget hearings again at 1 p.m. The 16th, we will hold regular sessions that will include a public hearing at 10:30 a.m. for the Ohio Department of Transportation, Rural Transportation, CY 2015 operating and capital grant programs for the Transit Department. On Tuesday, 9/16, the Commissioners will hold budget hearings beginning at 1. The 17th, Department of Aging Annual Meeting Luncheon, 11:30 a.m., Notre Dame Education Center Auditorium. On the 18th, the regular Commissioners meeting that was scheduled is now canceled. The 23rd regular scheduled Commissioner meeting is canceled. The 23rd, we have a Perry Nuclear Power Plant drill. The 25th, the regularly scheduled Commissioners meeting is canceled. The 30th, the meeting is canceled. And on the 7th, Commissioners will hold regular session, and the 9th will hold regular session. So with that, I would ask for a motion.
I'd also mention on the 12th is NWACA's annual meeting, and there's also a finance, executive finance, a policy, and a governance committee.
All on the 12th?
Yeah, on the 12th.
Okay, so
And external affairs.
we've got that marked down for the 12th. And with that, I would ask for a motion for the Commissioner's offices to move into executive session to consider the purchase of property for public purposes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Aye.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye, and with that, who will be in the meeting?
We'll be in the meeting.
Excuse me, are you guys gonna take any action when this is?
I don't believe so.
Executive
No.
session?
I don't see any.
I want to ask the, Judge Rendell who all he wants to take in with him. I know he's brought several people with him today, so I'm not sure who all he wants to take in.
Morning, Commissioners. I would like folks from my CASA Next Step program to join us, since it's dealing with juvenile facilities and other.
Oh, okay. Who is that? Who's the other person?
There's several, Andrea Paul.
Andrea?
Andrea's here, Chris is here.
Chris? Bob Voss?
Sarah Shinnifer, two of the gentlemen in
And
our
Linda.
program.
Okay.
You got a bunch.
We got a group.
Yeah.
We should
Okay.
have
Well,
plenty of room in there.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, I
we-
think we'll still.
Do we have enough room in that room, or
I
do
think
we?
I think we do.
have to
Should
do
be a
it
little
here?
tight, but I think.
Or do you want to stay?
Or we could stay here, and those that aren't part of it,
Why don't you
would
just say who's
kindly
not
leave.
gonna be in it?
Yeah.
Those who are not gonna be in,
She's
please leave.
Yeah, I think if
Then we
if
can
you
just
have,
close the door.
if you have any claustrophobia, I think that room is gonna be a little tight.
Yeah, I think we can just stay.
How are ya?
Ready? Okay. Go for it. We return.
So we return from executive session, no action at 11:40.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I received a phone call from a resident, Erin. That was all she left with phone number, about a concern, for the county engineer's office about, the removal of air conditioning out of several of their units, their vehicles. And, she said that she spoke with somebody from the engineer's office and that they told her that, they couldn't do anything, but that she could also speak with the commissioners. So she would like one of you to contact her back, and talk to her about it.
Well, you want me to call her first? and
Yeah.
just get
Yeah,
that?
the removal of air conditioning.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
That was easy.
Okay, Ralph, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And then, Kelly from Nowaka called and she wants to know who all will be attending on Friday the 12th for the annual meeting.
I can't go.
Am I going? I'm going, I'll be there.
So Blake, are you going?
No, I
or
planned- I
do you
didn't-
know
I-
for sure if Joe is going or not?
I called Joe and he,
Joe would go.
I called Joe and he wasn't that committal. He said, well, that you weren't voting on something or something. I don't know.
Okay, well, we have to
There's
find
not
out
gonna
for
be much
sure,
to do.
because if he's not gonna go and you're not gonna go, then we will have to appoint an alternate to go. And then, alright, you're not going, but Skip will be going for you, okay. And then I also have gotten several calls from a Brenda Walker regarding a tour, Mary, that you are hosting on the 20th of October. in
A what?
Geauga.
Oh, yes,
The road
right.
pavement tour?
Yeah, they're going to have, all the counties, Lorraine, all the counties, 5 counties are gonna have a bus tour to see all the roads. Yeah, and there's gonna be one for Geauga, one for Lake, one for Medina, one for.
They have the
Some of the roads
scheduled.
or all the roads?
The roads, the RTA.
All the roads.
I believe
Come
Joe
on, trip.
Calabrese is donating the buses.
Okay. Well, they would like to know who all is going to be attending that on the 20th, the Lake and Geauga one.
Well, I don't know all
On
the
the
people who
20th.
are attending, it all depends who said they're gonna go on it.
They want to know of the 3 of you who will
I'll be there.
attending.
What date is it?
It's a Monday, October 20th.
It's a Friday.
No, it's a Monday.
Oh, it's Monday.
October, what was the date?
She told me
I thought it's
October,
Friday.
Monday, October 20th.
Yeah, October 20th.
And then the second one is Monday, the 27th, which is the 5-county one.
Yeah. Well, that's just one of them.
I can't give you that answer right now.
Lake Geauga is scheduled for the 20th, and it says that there's supposed to be a meeting here and that lunch is provided.
Here?
Assume they're bringing the lunch.
They're
here.
supposed to.
Oh, they'll
according-
probably bring the
According
lunch.
to the invitation
Well,
that they
October
sent, it's that
20th
you're
is the
meeting
first
here.
road trip, and that was supposed to be Lorraine, but now it's Geauga.
And
Lake
what's
Geauga.
the other date of
And
the other
then
one?
Monday,
Yeah.
the 27th.
And then there's
is
one on the
the
24th, I thought there was one on the 24th.
She only sent me the invitation for the two, the 20th and the 27th.
The one for Medina, and
There's a
then,
5-county one, and then there's the one for Lake and Geauga.
well, I was told there was like 4 of them.
And we're gonna get on a bus and ride around, and I'm gonna get sick.
Oh, I don't think so.
I'm
So,
pretty sure I'm gonna ride,
If
get
you
sick.
could just
if I
let
ride
me know
around the
on
back of
those
the
2
bus.
things,
Okay.
then we'll be
Will
good,
do.
and that's all I have for you at this point, and then you can.
Unless they let me drive, I'll probably get sick.
So,
Okay, so now, are we ready to adjourn?
So moved.
thank you.
Wait.